Good morning and welcome to another wonderful episode of Newspaper Review, reaching you live from our studios on High Impact Television. I am Oyinpriye Krumale. Stories making the rounds. Section 88 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria gave leave to the National Assembly to invite any ministry, department, and agencies, including the presiding officer of such ministry, to appear before Parliament and to give account of what they are doing in their several ministries, most especially if it's a call for concern. Well, the Chief of Army Staff, Atairu Ibrahim, and the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Gordon Emefiele, have been summoned by the House of Representatives. This is not unconnected to the National Security Advisor, who made a statement last week that about $1 billion that the government had scheduled and allocated for the purchase of firearms to prosecute war and the fight against insurgency in the country did not really reflect the purpose of that allocation in the fight against criminality in the country, even though the Office of the National Security Advisor later came back on air to recount that statement and went forward to say that President Muhammadu Buhari will look into the matter. The House has summoned these respective ministries, and they didn't appear, of course, and they've been given the 7th of April 2021 to appear again. Well, we'll be taking a look at that and other stories making the rounds on the front pages of a newspaper. Do remember that some time ago, the Port Harcourt refinery, the government scheduled $1.5 billion for the upgrade, refurbishment, and rehabilitation of the refinery in Port Harcourt. Well, the major refineries in Nigeria, Port Harcourt refinery, the Warri refinery, the Kaduna refinery that can refine 110,000 barrels of crude per day. That of Warri refinery can refine 120,000 barrels per day, and that of Port Harcourt, 60,000 barrels per day. There have been allegations coming from Nigerians and indeed the public domain that these refineries have not been generating the funds that are required from them. Why would the government give out $1.5 billion to refurbish up to upgrade these refineries? It's like throwing money into throwing water into the basket. This is going to be one of the stories we'll be looking at this morning. And last not but on the list, Samuel Ortom, the governor of Benue State, who was attacked some few days ago. Some persons have come out to own up to the attack, and they are known as the Fulani National Movement. They've been severely berated by MACBAN and some other well-meaning Nigerians, including the Christian Association of Nigeria and the Northern Arewa Consultative Forum, for carrying out that attack. And they went ahead to threaten that any region or public office holder or anyone who is against the Ruga settlement, the ranching settlement, and open grazing in the country will be a subject of their attack. Well, let's get your opinion concerning this matter. Now we've been joined by a political technocrat, Dr. Adedayo Kayode. Good morning and welcome to the Newspaper Review.
Good morning, Joseph. How are you?
It's good to have you this morning, Dr. Adedayo Kayode.
Yeah, I'm okay, fine. Nice having you.
You're very much welcome. Now, let's take a look at some of the stories making the rounds. The House of Representatives summons the Chief of Army Staff and the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria over arms to prosecute the war against insurgency in Nigeria. This is not unconnected to what happened last time, where the National Security Advisor said something about funds or the materials, the weapons not being on ground because maybe funds were mismanaged. What's your take on it?
On which one now?
The funds, arms.
You say?
Arms funds.
Oh, arms funds.
Yes.
Arms funds, okay.
Yes.
Okay, you mean the recent armed force scandal?
Yeah, no, the recent summons by the National Assembly House of Representatives on the Chief of Army Staff and the Central Bank of Nigeria governor to come and give reports on the funds that were released to purchase arms to fight terrorism in the country.
Yeah, if you are talking of the arms fund, all right?
Okay.
If you are talking of the arms fund,
Yes.
I think a lot of money have been allocated to purchase of arms and ammunition in this country by the National Assembly through the budget. But up till today, what we see is that the security agents have been telling us that they don't have enough equipment to fight the insurgents that we are experiencing in our country. They always claim that the insurgents always have more sophisticated weapons than our security agents. If that is the case, all the money that has been allocated to security forces, where are those money? All the money that has been spent, or rather that have been acclaimed, that have been allocated to purchasing security equipment and ammunition, where are those money? Okay, if they are not showing us where the money are, where are those equipment that were supposed to have been bought by all those money? So these are big issues that we need to sort out in this country. And like I always protest that look, not until when we start to say the truth, there is no how we will get through with these security breaches in our country.
Okay. Now, we know that the House of Representatives, in line with Section 88 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, is demanding accountability from the Central Bank of Nigeria and from the Office of the Chief of Army Staff of the Federation. Where do you think this might lead us to? Because this is not the first time that the summons has been taking place.
It is even beyond that. Now, there are even two scandals now. As regards the initial $1 million, and then now, we are now also talking about the 2.5 being raised by the National Security Advisor, retired
Babangana Moguno.
Yeah, retired by Moguno. So, when we are looking at all this, how do you think we be able to solve our security problem? There was a time I raised this and said, also on the platform, that there is what we call conspiracy theory. Part of the conspiracy theory is this that is coming up now, whereby some people are using the insecurity in our country to enrich themselves. Are you with me?
I'm listening.
Whereby they are using what they are affecting our country to enrich themselves. They're not using it to allocate funds, then we go to their pocket. So not until when we have people that are sincere, people that are ready to face the problem that we are expressing this country headlong. Joseph is going to be the same. Remember I told you, on this side of platform, other side, I said, let the president change the service chiefs 1,001 times. Not until when people are ready to really face this scarcely, the story will remain the same. And look at where we are today. The service chiefs are in change. They are in change. But the insecurity is increasing. To the extent that look at how they were chasing the road governor of Benue State, also.
Okay.
And now when you comment enough for over 100 kilometers. And today, nobody has been apprehended. So it's a big issue. How can you say something happened and you cannot apprehend anybody? So it's because of people who are using this insecurity activity, insecurity in our country to enrich their pockets. So the thing will continue.
Okay, now, Dr. Kaide, we know that when Babangana Muguno made that statement, later he came back to recount the statement, and I think the figure is $1 billion. And he went forward to say that Mr. President Muhammad Buhari will take a look at the issue, and at the end of the day, after going through the reports, will give a directive concerning that fault. So we really hope that that takes us to somewhere very, very positive. Now, let's move away from looking at the problems. Let's look at the solution. What would you propose?
Now, you see, the solution, there is in cases. Number one, because the ball stops at the president's level, because it's also the commander, the chief of the armed forces. He has to change his philosophy towards ensuring peace and security in this country. That's number one. Number two, the president must be able to walk his talk. When you say yes, go after all these hoodlums, he must follow the security agent up to ensure that all these hoodlums are being apprehended. All these hoodlums, they are being brought to book. Because not until when you start bringing them to book will they stop all this mess that they are doing in our country. The moment you are not bringing them to book, they will strongly believe that yes, there is something you can do. You can imagine. You can imagine if you don't say it is the government is giving them arms and ammunition. And the presidency finally came out and said, look, you cannot be blackmailing us. So not until when you start to show them that you are on top of the country issue in Nigeria, we will be saying this. Three. All citizens must be ready to say the truth.
Okay. Now,
Look at it.
Dr. Kaide, let me butt in here a little. I actually wanted to ask you a question concerning the roles that the citizens and every Nigerian is expected to play in complementing the efforts of the president and the government, including the security agencies, in fighting terrorism in the country.
President fighting terrorism in the country?
Yes, the role that the citizens are supposed to play.
Are you aware that there is a report that says Nigeria is the third country after I think Syria and all those Syria codes that is experiencing terrorism Muslims? You are aware. If that be the case, what were we looking at to the whole thing was degenerating to this point? So, the only thing is for us, I've been saying it, the government is not to plan in fighting this act of terrorism. And why are they not to plan? Melaipa, first of things, from time to do. What's the name again? This PDP man that led the new PDP to make the other time. First another thing, sometimes to do. Now, the terrorists, they also say the government is not using them as ammunition. So why can't government just come out and then tell the people the truth, what they have done as regards insecurity in Nigeria? Then we will forgive them. Then all of us will not be able to join hands together and fight these terrorists once and for all.
But Dr. Kaide,
That, let me tell you, let them please advantage. Having a kind of liability and security. Nothing is going to come out of it. The one that was held in the north, I think about 2 weeks ago, what are we seeing out of it? We have to sit down and say the truth. Let us call a state and stop calling it back into some equipment.
Dr. Kaide.
Yes.
Yes, you remember that the government, most especially President Muhammadu Buhari, came out to say that he gave instructions to the military that any person with AK-47 rifle should be shot because it is not, it's an assault rifle and it's a military grade and it's not meant for any other person. The president has made that statement twice. Don't you think that is enough for the president or for the administration doing its bidding concerning when people go around with rifles and causing trouble in the country?
Now, let me also put to you.
Okay, anyone caught a rifle in the bush, actually? Yep.
How many people have been shot? How many people have been arrested? That's what I'm saying. It's a thing to say something. It's a thing to follow it up. Let the president follow this thing up so that people like Amanpo will not be saying it is an accomplice.
Okay. Dr. Kaide, but that's incumbent on the military to carry out that directive of the president.
Listen to the process. Your MD.
No, Dr. Kaide, no, don't use it. Don't use it as an example.
Dr. Peter has appointed you to read the news.
Okay.
Dr. Peter has brought you up to be the of the television this morning. We did not come and take that with you, but he is somewhere directing you. He is somewhere directing something to you, making sure that you do it appropriately. And when you are not doing it,
all right.
When you remove them, you concentrate them and becoming a pastor. So what are you talking about?
Now, let's move away from discussing insecurity matters. Let's go to another sector, very critical sector of the economy, and this has to do with crude oil. Now, remember that last week, if not the week before last, the presidency made a statement, or there was a statement in the public forum that $1.5 billion will now be allocated for the refurbishment or the upgrade or rehabilitation of Port Harcourt refinery. I know you're more conversant with issues like this. How did that hit you?
Now, the problem here is this. The answer to this particular question would be two ways. One, if they are going to refurbish that place and the money allocated will be spent judiciously, and they have done their due diligence to know that when that money is being spent judiciously, that refinery will start operating up to optimal. Oh, fine. But my fears are this. One, in the past, right from 1999, during the Baba Obasanjo's regime, we have been hearing turnaround maintenance of all the refineries. What do we have today to show for it? All the refineries in the country, what do we have today to show for it, including that of Port Harcourt? Now, that money you are also going to use to refurbish that place. Are you sure if you put that money to build a single, even just one, modular refinery, will that money not be more than enough to build a modular refinery? And if one modular refinery is being built, will it be of good use to Nigerians or not? So these are issues that we all need to consider together. But it's a pity that just as it has happened in this recent armed scandal, when tomorrow comes, you will see that money is not going to that place. But meanwhile, they will have borrowed that money And then generations yet unborn of Nigeria will be made to be paying for money that are being put or that are being used to line some people's pockets.
Okay. Now, Dr. Kaide, I know you've equally mentioned it while you were giving explanation to the question I asked before. Now, in times past, some monies have been pumped into the rehabilitation of these refineries, that of Kaduna State, that of the Warri Delta State, with the capacity of 120,000 barrels per day and 60,000 barrels per day concerning the Rivers State refinery. Do you think with this upgrade, this recent upgrade that is at the corner, ready to gulp $1.5 billion, do you think there will be any change?
You see, there is a trust gap in this country between the government and the people. There is no amount of issues that can be brought up to support this money they want to spend there that people will believe, that somebody like me too will believe. Imagine the so-called amount of money we have been spending on a subsidy since all these days. Joseph, put all these monies together. By now, we shouldn't be paying this 140 whatever or 160 something to buy fuel in our country, because by now there is no state that will not be having at least one modular refinery.
Okay.
Enough to be fair.
All right. Now, Dr. Kaide, lastly, before I let you go, whilst it has some form of relevance or connection with what we are currently discussing, $1.5 billion for the refurbishment or upgrade of Port Harcourt refinery. Now, let's look at it from the perspective of diversifying the Nigerian economy. Currently, agriculture is a very serious business in Nigeria, and with the amount of foods production from the northern part of the country that's seen as the food basket of the country, there's reports that we don't have storage facilities for Nigerian agricultural produce, no silos, even in the northern part of Nigeria, let alone in the southern part of Nigeria. And this has led to waste of perishable food products in the country. What kind of, don't you think if we are diversifying the economy, some of this monies can be channeled towards this end so we can make good means of it?
You see, let me tell you, what people are talking of agriculture as a kind of diversifying our economy. No doubt about it is good. But what kind of agriculture are we practicing? Is it subsistence or mechanized? That is one. Two, to what extent are we giving our agricultural products value? To what extent are we giving it value? Imagine tubers of yam. The tons of tubers of yam coming out from Benue State, coming out from Kogi State, coming out from part of Niger State. To what extent are we being able to add value to it? It's not about just planting and harvesting. Look at cocoa. Look at what is happening in Togo here. That small country, Togo. They told those people, they say, okay, we're selling our cocoa to you again. Bring your chocolate or whatever factory to our country. Then we'll be giving you cocoa there. Why can't we do that here? Why can't we do that here? Go to Cadbury. Go and see what is happening to Cadbury. Go to CRL. Go and look at what is happening there. Go to where they manufacture this place, this cocoa industry at Akilo. Go and look what is happening there. Out of insincerity and hedonistic tendencies of our leaders. Go and check it out. You will look at our refineries. Are we the one people bring the free of charge? Are we able to find them? Are we able to give you back? Rather, we respond to, and then we now involve the value products in terms of petroleum, beauty, kerosene, and all that.
Okay.
So why can't you the problem that I just talked to Nigeria is insincerity.
Okay.
If the government then government will come up with policies. So yes, we are going to fight. After going to the farm, let us try improve on those products by giving in value. So making exportable.
Okay. Kaide is a political technocrat who joins us this morning from Lagos, Nigeria. Many thanks for your time this morning, Dr. Kaide.
Thank you very much. Pleasure having you that day.
You're very much welcome. Sorry for lack of time. That's how far we can go, and we are drawing the curtain right here on the newspaper review. Do remember to send Eyewitness Report to info@highimpactstudios.com or direct messages on all our social media platforms at High Impact TV and High Impact TV UK. Many thanks for joining us this morning. I am Oyinpriye Krumale. Good morning.